And now on the Chris Smith Show, the Entertainment Report with Jo Casamento.
Jo Casamento, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Chris.
Oh, big news with O.J. Simpson, huh?
I know. Can you believe it's been so many years since he was, it feels like 1995 again, don't you think? All the hoopla, and I've just been watching the actual courtroom where he was released, and he was typical O.J. He's now 70. Can you believe it?
70.
But
O.J. Simpson.
the parole board chairman accidentally called him 90, which was quite funny, and he laughed. And he said, "I feel like it."
Yeah.
Look, it's an oddly familiar situation, isn't it? A Nevada parole board decided Simpson should be freed after he apologised for his role in the 2007 armed robbery. And she said he's been a model prisoner and promised that he had no conflicts. If released, he meets all the requirements, one of which is he has no prior convictions, which, of course, we all know is incredible considering the courtroom drama that went on.
Well, he made a comment about that, didn't he? He pointed that out. Let me just play for our listeners who didn't pick it up earlier in the day. This is O.J. Simpson saying this, of all things.
I could be stopped and searched whenever I'm not a guy who lived a criminal life. I'm a pretty straight shooter.
He said that with a straight face?
I know. It's like he's an unrepentant. He's never shown any remorse for that, for the death of his wife, obviously, and even in this robbery, which was what he was jailed for, and he served 9 out of a 9 to 33-year sentence. So he served the minimum for what he was given, but he's never even claimed responsibility for that. He sort of blamed the other people involved. So he certainly doesn't seem to have, ever sort of atoned for any of those sins. But he has yet again sort of, he's going to get out, and apparently he's got quite a bit of money as well. So. Which is interesting. He's always had a pension from the NFL still, and so he still collects a pension for that, and he also apparently invested quite wisely, and he collects a sort of check apparently for his movies.
Unbelievable. See, I've always thought that why wouldn't he tell these parole people, oh, listen, I really want to get out of jail because I still am trying to track down the killer of my wife.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, did you watch the series? That was recently on. Yeah, it's just one of those. It was one of those. It really defined a whole heap of it was just such a sign of the times, wasn't it? In terms of the whole idea of celebrity, murder. It had all the parts, and it's amazing that a whole generation has sort of grown up not knowing it. But I think this will put it back in the media and certainly showcase, these regrettable incidences and just. Yeah, it's kind of just a real study of everything that's wrong, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Total injustice. One of the country's most loved models is engaged, Jo.
Yes, Megan Gale. And supermodel Megan Gale has announced she's engaged to her Richmond footy player star Sean Hampson. She announced it yesterday on Instagram in a very cute post, which basically was a shot of her hand with the ring slightly in view, but it was a shot of her chipped nail. And she said, for goodness sake, can't a girl go for a leisurely beach stroll without chipping a nail? Well, at least I had some nice rocks to look at. I know you're not supposed to remove shells and rocks from the beach and take them home with you, but I did find one rock that was pretty special.
Oh, cute.
I just had to keep it. So it's very sweet. She's, of course, pregnant with the couple's second child, and she opened up recently about the heartache she had in miscarrying a child earlier this year. Good luck to this little couple with a bun in the oven.
Yeah, and she is 12 years his senior, is that right?
He is. He's 29 and she's 41, so yes.
She's a cradle snatcher.
Oh, she is. Is that what it is these days? I think it's kind of, even Stevens, isn't it, Chris?
Well, it is even Stevens, I guess, yes. None of that is, special or odd anymore, is it really?
No, it's not.
Now, this particular movie has been long awaited. Let me play a little bit for our listeners.
The enemy tanks have stopped.
Why?
Why waste precious tanks when they can pick us off from the air like fish in a barrel?
There are 400,000 men on this beach.
Jo, Dunkirk.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to call this one early, Chris. Only, what are we, July? Oscars next February. I'm calling this an early front-runner for next year's Oscars. This film by Christopher Nolan, who gave us Memento and the Dark Knight trilogy and Inception, and he's been definitely a director on the rise, but they are calling this an absolute masterpiece. Every single top-notch critic has given this 5 stars.
Wow.
It's been called a new definition of cinematic greatness, nothing short of a masterpiece. It's in 70mm film. You must see this at the cinema. Do not see this at home. See it at IMAX if you can. It's nothing like you've seen before. It's a bird's eye view of history. And, of course, we're talking about the 1940 Dunkirk excavation of 340,000 British soldiers. It was the famous Winston Churchill speech, the "We will fight on the beaches" speech that he gave in Parliament after they were successfully evacuated. But it really defines a new sort of war genre. It takes you there. The action is incredible. The score is incredible. I don't know if the little clip you just gave it justice. It is pulsating. It's by Hans Zimmer. It's like a clock ticking, and it increases your heartbeat, like to this heart-hammering, sort of gut-wrenching, engrossing pace. It's just one of those films you have to see in terms of the script is not. There's not a lot of words. There's not a lot of dialogue, to be honest. It's sort of different to anything you've seen. It's sort of like a documentary, but as I said, it's like you're transported back. And because the landscape of the beach and all those soldiers and the bombing and the drowning, and it kind of gives it to you in a 3 sort of land, sea and air sort of scape. So it is a film that, as I said, is going to redefine war movies for the future.
Sounds mammoth.
It is mammoth. So, and the other thing to note is Harry Styles in this.
How did Harry Styles from One Direction go?
I know, you're talking about a cast that includes Kenneth Branagh, and he's just such a fine actor. Yeah. And he gives probably the only emotional depth in the film in terms of backstory and just that heart-hammering moment. But Tom Hardy's in it, and you only see Tom's in this sky. He's a pilot. And the whole film, he's got a mask on, so he uses his eyes so expressively and just shows what a great actor he is. Mark Rylance, I love him. You might know him from Bridge of Spies.
Oh, yeah.
Make no mistake, this is epic. But Harry Styles, sitting in this ensemble cast, is surprisingly fabulous, I have to say.
That's good to hear.
He's gorgeous, but he's probably got the most dialogue in the film out of everyone. And he really lives up to it. I think he's got a new career there, believe it or not.
So there he was with that fabulous song that he's produced, which sounds very much like David Bowie, and he's killing it with music, and now he's killing it in the silver screen.
Silver screen. He's just nailing it across every platform. Good luck to him. He really suits this role as well because he's sort of that gorgeous young soldier in that 1940s look. It's just incredible. But it's definitely one to see. This is, it is, as I said, the expanse on the beach is brilliant. But don't go looking for, an amazing storyline. It's more just
the experience.
The experience, that's right.
Choc tops?
And you must see it on the big screen. Well, I feel like I have to give it 5 if everyone else has, don't I? But there's no romance in there. Maybe 4 3/4.
4 3/4.
Like a bit of re-romance.
4 3/4 choc tops.
4 3/4 choc tops with a cherry on the top or a flake stuck in the side.
Love it.
And some sprinkles.
All right. Dunkirk, here we come on your so-so. That sounds terrific.
Yes.
Have a good weekend.
Enjoy that one over the weekend. You too, Chris.
Good on you. Thank you, Jo Casamento. And just a footnote to Jo's segment. Over the next 2 Sundays, if you're into silent movies, there's the Festival and State Library of New South Wales and a tribute to Alfred Hitchcock, 1929 to 1946. You can get tickets as well for this. They've got things like Notorious and Blackmail, and a few of the other movies that will be part of Australia's Silent Film Festival. You can go to ozsilentfilmfestival.com.au. Some classics there, all in memory of the master Alfred Hitchcock. So that's occurring this Sunday coming up and Sunday as well in Sydney.